Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm building this Overdrive guitar pedal from a bare PCB with no instructions, and it is a kit that I bought off the internet. My first port of call to building this circuit is installing all the resistors. Fortunately, these are all labelled. I don't know if you can read that. So it's just a case of placing them on the board where they fit. So with all the resistors installed, now we can install the three diodes. So we've got one, two, three here. That will be the next easiest step. With the diodes, make sure that you get the stripe the right way around. So as you can see, this one's dropping as I leave go, so I like to use a little trick and put a bit of blue tack over one of the pins to hold it up into place while I solder. As you can see, it's actually still quite nice level to the board there. So the next thing I like to do is install the capacitors, but first I like to label them all. So I've grouped them all into 105 type, 470 type, 224 type, 473 type, and the electrolytics. And this all corresponds to the numbers on the board. It should make installation quite easy. So I did make one mistake there. There should have been an electrolytic capacitor. So let's remove that and put it where it should be, which is over here. So I've got my desoldering tool here. It's now warmed up. Let's see if we can remove this capacitor. Stuck this on pretty well. There we go. There we go. Well, I did cut the legs a little bit too short on that. However, I do have a spare one, so let's put that in its place. So with the capacitor in position, we can resume soldering. Finally, for the capacitors, we are going to install the electrolytic ones. The short lead is the negative side and the long lead is the positive side. So this one is a can't see 1 microfarad. So the next step is to attach the pots to control the volume, tone and the gain. There isn't a wiring diagram and we have a bunch of wires here. So going off what I can find on the internet, we'll look from the back and we'll take that as pin 3, that is pin 2 and that is pin 1. Each one of these is a different size. This one's 100k, that one's 500 and this one is 20k. So I'm going to take the volume as 100k, I'm going to take the gain as 500k and the tone as 20k. That seems to be other things that I can find similar to overdrives online from their circuit diagrams. So I'm going to start with the gain. So just made another little mistake. I wanted to keep this nice and neat and tidy and put a bit of heat shrink tubing on there. So I've desoldered the gain pot and I'm just attaching this heat shrink tubing. And that should allow us to cover these pins up later so we don't get anything crossed. Let's try and solder this again. Start with the middle one this time. I'm trying to keep white as pin number 1, red as pin number 2, and I'm going to use black as pin number 3 throughout this, just to try and keep an even consistency. Right, now to attach the volume pot, same way. This one's a bit more simpler. The V1, V2 and V3 is all in a nice line. Next we need to attach the LED, and I'm going to use a black wire for the cathode and a red wire for the anode. So our cathode is the negative, which is here. Just put a bit of glue tack on that. So next we've got to solder the cathode to the shorter lead of the LED, which is this one here. But then this is going to be tricky. I'm just going to use the inside of the lid because it doesn't matter if I damage that. So next I want to install the jacks. This connection here is for the tip and this one's for the ground. I'm going to use red for the tip and black for the ground. So our input tip, let's start with that, which is over here. Next, we want to connect our battery. Our battery slot is here. So I'm going to connect the red lead to the positive terminal, just down here. Again, hold it in place with some blue tack. And the negative terminal goes to the black. So lastly, we've got to connect the 9-volt power jack. This here is positive, this one here is ground, negative, and that final one there is ground. So we need to attach this onto here. So we have positive, PBW, and ground. Hoping that is correct. So apologies, I did get these connections wrong, so I've just desoldered them. I found a little bit of a guide somebody else has made, and this is PWC, that one is PWB, and that one is 9 volts. That sounds much better. So let's reconnect these, and PWC also has to go to the input jack over here on this third leg, which we'll sort out in a moment. So let's start by resoldering PWC, which is this one here. Then 9 volts, which is this one here. And then PWB, which goes to here. There we go. Now we need to add that extra wire to PWC, which is this black wire here. There we go. And that goes to the input tip, and that goes to this here. So let's reposition this. bit more solder. It's getting a bit short. And there we go. Finally, we want to connect our stomp switch, and this goes up here. Should just go straight in, hopefully. Right, plug the battery in, plug the input tip and the output tip into me amp, and at the minute we should just hear a normal tone, which we do. If we press the stomp pedal, and we can hear the overdrive working there. So let's put this all together in the box. So let's put it in the box. I picked up the wrong one, I'll get the other one. This is the one I want. So this should all fit nice and neatly into here. So with everything plugged in and everything turned down, we shouldn't really hear much. If we turn it off, we should hear bypass, which we do. Let's try it, turn it up.